So on today's episode of Random Stuff Mike Does, we're going to be painting a carbon fiber helmet for my buddy Jason Hart. He brought in this really killer carbon fiber Bell helmet, and he said he likes lowrider style flake and patterns and get crazy. So I'm going to show you kind of what we do to paint one of these. And to start with, you're going to want to clean it really good. You got to be a little bit careful when you're painting carbon fiber because certain types of carbon fiber resins will absorb cleaners and you can have adhesion issues when you try to paint over the top of it. So we always like to use a really quick drying cleaner like a plastic cleaner and get it good and clean. Then I scuffed this all down with 600 grit sandpaper and a gray Scotch-Brite and then cleaned it again. So now it's ready to tape off. So typically whenever I'm doing a helmet, I'll look at stuff online and just kind of get a little bit of inspiration until I kind of see what I'm trying to do in my head, and then I'll just start taping it out till it feels right. On this one I want to leave some of the carbon fiber showing through, and because the gaskets on this one aren't removable, what I'm going to do is try to leave some carbon at the edges so that I don't have a really big paint buildup at the edges that make the gaskets look really crappy. So I'm going to keep the carbon around the edges and then in the middle, and then kind of have it weave into the patterns in the center of the helmet. So I'll kind of be looking at it as covering up the carbon to start with and show you kind of how we do that. Alright, so futzed around with the tape, got it looking the way I want. I kind of got a vision in my mind of what I want everything to look like. So now that it's all masked off, mixing up a little bit of silver base coat. I tend to like to use silver as the base for my candies. I think it's a little bit brighter. Some people are on the gold team. I'm on the silver team. So we're going to probably do a little bit of playing around with different flakes once we get into the next stage of layering. But to start with, almost any pattern candy type paint job is going to start off with a base color. That base color will typically be silver or gold. Alright, we're going to lay out some tape and kind of build up where the layers are all going to be. Typically with the lowrider style, you'll see where we'll lay a bunch of fine line on it and then we'll tape off different sections and shade them and kind of give it that layered effect. But for now, I kind of want to build my shape here in the bottom, and then I'm going to have kind of an opening here with some flake in it and then the patterns kind of going around. So I'll show you kind of how I do it. It'll be a little bit of an experiment. I'll kind of play with it until I like what I see, and it's always kind of free. Alright, so got it ready for clear. After we do the candy, I got to put a coat of clear on it to seal the candy off. So any of the layers I do after that, if I don't put clear, the candy will bleed through there and stain the color. So I got to put a couple coats of clear on it tonight, let it sit overnight, sand it in the morning, and then put more layers on. So I'll throw the clear on, let you guys look at it afterward. Alright, so we've got it all painted, clear coated, sanded, polished. Now it's down to the favorite part, which is giving it to the owner and seeing what you think. So what do you think, Jason? Do you like it?
I love it, right? Like all the gold leaf, I definitely asked for some gold leaf. The rest of it was artistic freedom other than like reds, and definitely nailed it. Love the designs, the pattern work. It's got a lot of flake in the top, which is really fine. That's probably gonna look amazing in the sun. And just a killer job. Symmetry is amazing. The helmet's completely smooth. You don't feel any lines or any tape lines or anything like that. Just killed it, man. Love it.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you like it. So there you go. that was start to finish on a custom helmet paint job.